Thank you, Michael. Thanks everyone for being here. I'd like to do a quick introduction to Program 1. You're going to hear from a couple of our research projects, a couple of our PhD students, and a panel discussing something which has come from some of our research in this session. Just a reminder of what Program 1 is. You'll see there's the photo I've used here doesn't have any soil in it. It's got people. It's got people shopping. This is the context for managing Australia's soils, particularly for what we're doing in the Soil CRC. We're talking about agricultural soil management. There are products. People use them. There are social systems that set some of the parameters for how people can manage soil. So I'm unashamedly putting that up, and it's also a shout out to last year's conference. Some of you might recognise the Grand Chancellor Hotel in the background where we had last year's conference. So, you know, one of the things about the Soil CRC is its sort of continuity in the way it builds on things. So this program is about people and soils. It's about social systems and soils. It's about economic processes and soils. I guess it's putting the people in the soil. Again, I found a nice local photo, this time from Coolman. Soils and people are part of a system. We're not separate, even though we're in separate programs, but Program 1 is focusing particularly on people in the agricultural soil management, human activity system, as David would call it. That's Program 1. Just a reminder that a lot of the social and economic research that we do is research. It's research that produces data. These data are sometimes quantitative, sometimes qualitative, sometimes they're analysed statistically, sometimes there's other analyses that are used, but they're all rigorous. So the research which is done in Program 1 is rigorous research, and we're producing really sound data from the program. I just wanted to remind all of us of that. I'll be really large scale, I guess. This is how I see, okay, it's a little bit of a view in my mind, but this is how I see the program. We have, at the start, back in 2017, 2018, we looked at two scoping areas, one around markets and policy research, and the other around social research and on-farm economics. We've had a number of different research areas within that. What I wanted you to see from this, a couple of things. One is the yellow dot in the middle, which is the social benchmarking survey. Used across a number of the projects, a lot of what we're doing is based on the data which is being collected from a really rigorous social benchmarking survey across Australia, providing heaps of good data. We've got research happening in the policy and market area, and research happening a lot around knowledge systems, around how farmers make decisions, around the conditions in which farmers make their decisions about what they do with their soils. These aren't very linear, and that's really the other message I want you to take from this, is they're feeding into each other, they're building on each other. So one of the strengths of the Soil CRC, and certainly I've seen it in Program 1, is how the information from the projects is supporting other projects, building on new ideas, and there's some emergent ideas from that cross-use. We've got 3 outputs, Commonwealth milestones outputs that we're going aiming for by the end of the Soil CRC. These are the areas down the bottom. Ultimately, we're trying to provide portfolios of resources for people to be able to better help farmers, or for farmers to help themselves navigate the complex socio-ecological system that they're in relation to soil. So information for policy and finance and those consumer and financial markets that are setting a lot of the parameters for activity. Other areas are around the knowledge systems, the decision systems, the support systems, the economic, on-farm economic indicators that help people make decisions, and how to be innovative in how we think, particularly in farming systems groups, in advisor groups, that relationship between information, advice, management, innovation in that area. We heard from Jim Prattley this morning, there's a whole history of extension. I guess we're trying to say we don't have to do everything the way it used to be. Let's look at what's working, how we can do things differently. And ultimately, that comes up, I was told not to use this word, but I'm going to use it because it's in the milestone. Ultimately, it's modelling ways of collaborating for better soil. It's modelling different approaches. That's what this project is about, this program is about. We do that through projects. You don't have to read this. All you have to see is that there are a whole lot of projects. Some of them are research projects. Some of them are PhD studies. We have some graduates. We're going to hear from a graduate today and a current student. We have projects that are leading toward this, and we're going to hear from two of those today as well. As Michael said, there's a whole lot of other things happening. We're just giving a little bit of a snapshot there. If you're interested, the red ones are completed, the black ones are underway. So there's a heap of activity all coming together into a really solid synthesis of information that we hope will be really useful, particularly for people who advise farms and their decision making.